All right, guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. Great to have you guys along. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the support, especially this time of year around the holidays. You guys are amazing. Thank you so very much. We start things off with Mediaite. CNN suspends Chris Cuomo indefinitely. Yes, you read that headline correctly. Now, if this had been a conservative, if this had been someone on Fox News or Newsmax or some conservative outlet, it would have been outlet fires or individual resigns in disgrace. But instead, since it's CNN, and of course, as we know, the mainstream legacy media here in the United States are just an extension of the Democrat Party. So they do everything they can to protect not only their Democrat president, but also each other within the media and all of the political figures and individuals who are involved with the Democrats, are also known as the cabal and or the establishment for clarity purposes. CNN suspends Chris Cuomo indefinitely, not fired or resigned in disgrace. CNN suspended Chris Cuomo indefinitely on Tuesday, one day after the New York State's Attorney General's office released transcripts showing the extent of his involvement in assisting his brother, then Governor Andrew Cuomo, as he faced multiple allegations of female impropriety interactions against their will involvements. So, Andrew Cuomo was the counter to President Trump as President Trump's approval was rising during the pandemic because he was doing his daily conferences, something you'll very rarely ever see Joe Biden do. But because he was gaining in popularity, the left had to bring out Andrew Cuomo as a counter to this. And of course, because Andrew Cuomo, let me give you a picture to look at here so you don't get bored too much as you may not want to look at Chris Cuomo. But the thing is, they brought out Andrew Cuomo to counter President Trump because, of course, they couldn't allow a president like President Trump to take any credit, to have any sort of validity in helping with the pandemic, because the Democrats saw themselves as owning the problem because they never let a crisis go to waste, much less, or they create these issues to suggest that only they know the actual solution. So instead of Chris Cuomo being fired or suspended in disgrace, or resigning in disgrace, he was just suspended, right? So here we have from the post-millennial breaking, and I want you to pay attention to the wording here also in the header here. Breaking, CNN suspends Chris Cuomo indefinitely after revelations he used job to help his brother. How incredibly revealing. This reminds me a lot of Molly Ball's article where she was, being very haughty and very, spiking the football about the fact that the mainstream media, working alongside everyone else or the great cabal, to fortify an election for a desired outcome. And here you have it, a clear omission, as they say in fancy language speak. The left, the Democrats, work alongside the mainstream media. That's what they do. And it's interesting to see them frame it this way because these are dog whistles. These are dog whistles to the community saying, look what we're able to do. We've got the power. No one can do anything to us. We manipulate, we coerce, we tell people what to think, what their opinion should be, etc., etc. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole article because it's basically the same thing as the last one, but I did want to point out something very unique and interesting about the left, the progressives, and maybe even cancel culture or even outrage mobs, but mostly the Democrats and the left in general. One of their particular rules, if you want to call it that, because they're always, making up things as they go along, but one of the most egregious things you could ever do when it comes to the left and Democrats is to insult a female. Now, of course, if you're a libertarian, a moderate, a conservative like myself, or Republican others, and I can only really speak for myself, is I at least try to show some levels of respect for everyone, regardless of their gender, regardless of their identity, regardless of their skin color, all those sorts of things that are so important to the left. I just look at people as people. However, as you see here, this is kind of where they draw the line. The Me Too moments is where they draw their line. And some people question where that line is drawn. But of course, I'll try to mitigate and, kind of tamper down my bias. But suffices to say, this is where they draw the line. So from Janice Dean, the mean machine, Janice Dean, news weather machine, Chris Cuomo should open his show tonight apologizing to the women he tried to smear, his viewers that he lied to, and then resign in disgrace. Now, the significance of me pointing out that this is Janice Dean, the weather machine, is that Janice Dean's own family members died as a result of Andrew Cuomo's complete incompetence in handling of the pandemic. This is why Andrew Cuomo had to resign himself with these same sorts of allegations, because the Democrats who believe and perceive themselves as owning the situation, because as you know, Democrats never let a crisis go to waste, because only they have the solution, only they have the answers, and if it wasn't for the left, then minorities and people in general will never know what kind of opinion to have or how to succeed in life without the direct influence of the Democrats' influence upon them. Chris Cuomo must resign or be fired by CNN. His involvement in helping his brother navigate the accusations was far more extensive than let on. This is not surprising. This is not surprising, but it is very revealing. Now, you see, so Robbie points out very specifically, like I just said, like any common sense person would say, so why didn't he resign, or why wasn't he fired in disgrace, as it were? You know, I didn't mean to go to his thing here. It's not letting me go back, damn it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so, and then stop saying transitory Cernovich. That's interesting. Okay, so, and this is from Cernovich himself. So CNN is a smear operation. It's not a news outlet. It probably never was. Now, the most interesting thing I saw lately coming from Tim Pool is now to insult. People used to use the framing of learn to code. You guys remember the little meme that was created by the journalist that went after the miners who were fired, and to kind of demean and humiliate a lot of these miners, the journalist said, learn to code. Now, if you said learn to code on Twitter to a journalist, you would be suspended on Twitter because you couldn't use their own form of attacks against them. But suffice it to say, the new insult now for journalists is to call them content creators. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, because I am a content creator. Now, I don't claim to be a journalist. I don't claim to be a citizen journalist or a reporter or anything, although I do get press passes to do things. But suffice it to say, I guess the new insult now to kind of condemn these people is they're content creators. And I don't say that in any way to disparage other content creators. I think that we are arriving at a point now, everyone should be aware of this, that the media does create content. Chris Cuomo should have been fired a long time ago. Fired. When, where, how, it's not really all that relevant because he's always protected. Chris Cuomo is a political activist masquerading as a journalist, of course. We also know this from many, many different journalists out there. Then we have Diamond and Silk closing it off with Chris Cuomo shouldn't have been suspended by CNN. He should have been fired. And of course, that's what common sense, rational, cogent people like yourselves would say in this particular situation. Now, if we go over here to Twitter, we can clearly see that Christopher C. Cuomo still has his account. It's right here, despite the allegations. I guess they could say they're allegations or whatnot. But here we see, a tweet from him, from Chris, another tweet from Chris, another tweet from Chris. So Chris is right here. He's doing quite well. You can see on his main page. Let's go to his tweets and replies, where he tweets and, of course, replies. And as we can see here, he's got his tweets. He has his tweets. He has his tweets. He has his tweets. And then, of course, his replies from his fellow content creators there on CNN. And then we go over here to Governor Andrew Cuomo, who resigned in disgrace, because that's what he is. Archived, of course. You can see here, he's got a pinned comment. Wow, check it out. He's got an archived comment right here. And in his comments right here, you can see it. There's with his family, and here's Andrew, and here's Andrew, and here's Andrew. All right, so he's on his main page. All right, let's see if we have any tweets and reply. Oh, wait, here we go. We got Andrew Cuomo. Look, it's Andrew Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo. That's amazing. Wait a minute. So here's Chris Cuomo, right? He's basically resigned or suspended in disgrace. You have a governor who resigned in disgrace. So let's go over here and just check President Trump 45 archive, and let's see where's Trump's. Wait, is there Trump? Where's Trump's tweet? Hang on. Let's see Trump's tweet. Trump tweet. Okay. Oh, okay. It's not on the main page. Let's go over here. Okay. So let's go to tweets and replies, and we'll see if we can find some of the things, all the things that, wait, Donald, wait. Where's Donald Trump? Wait. That's White House. Where's Donald? Okay. So you get the gig. You get the shtick. You get the comedy. President Trump's account is archived, but there is not a single tweet from President Trump in here. An individual created tweet. None. Okay, there's none here. All right? Chris Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, here's all their tweets right here. You can read all of them, any of them you want to. And then another curious thing too, and this is another part of what I also try to emphasize to you guys when you guys like and share the content, because as you see here, and I hope I'm not going to make anyone ill, but as I speak, as I ramble incoherently somewhat, I'm just going to let this thing scroll. And what I want you guys to take notice of, if you're very astute, just below each of the titles, you'll see the various content creators. And what you will notice almost immediately is they are all mainstream media of some form, either news, entertainment, infotainment, but they're all from sources that are mainstream media. So essentially what YouTube does is they have what's called a white server, all right? On a white server, that means that these individuals are not affected by, well, here's the Young Turks, who are content creators, but they're supported by, Soros and other mainstream outlets. But anyway, guys, I could go for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, and it'll all be these sorts of content creators and others. Now, there was someone on here. There's The View. And there was a content creator on here, but I don't recall his name now. But you had to go way. Here he is, Nikki Swift too. This is a big creator, a much bigger creator with 2.9 million. But that's how far down you have to go to come across your first content creator, who incidentally has 2.9 million subscribers. So good luck trying to find any of my stuff here. Good luck trying to find the video that you're now watching in this list when you do a search. So here he is. What's happening actually was he had 5.1 thousand subscribers. Now he is majorly at the bottom. So what I did is, and it's off the screen, you can't see it, is I took the scroll wheel, the scroll bar, and I scrolled it down as far as I could go. I think I spent about 3 minutes just scrolling down as far as I could and then trying to find a single independent creator. And so he is probably the most independent of them all, and he is way down there. I think he was in the hundreds of how far down it is before you get to an actual content creator. Now, good luck. You can try to find me. Very good luck. Now, here's the point I want to make. Exclusive. FBI finds scant evidence U.S. Capitol attack was coordinated sources. So any connection with President Trump, even the individuals participating in the peaceful protest at the Capitol, does not garnish any consideration for President Trump on Twitter or across social media. But I've got one more thing for you. From CNBC, Senate acquits Trump for inciting Capitol riot, even as bipartisan majority votes to convict. So he was acquitted. He was acquitted. There was no connection of any of the organizations or an organization that is responsible for the Capitol riot, much less the president. And of course, here he is now. Senate acquits Trump for inciting Capitol riot, even as bipartisan majority votes to convict. He wasn't. 57-43 vote on the charge of inciting insurrection for his role in the Capitol 6 riot, but he was acquitted. And yet, he's not on Twitter. Here is the disparity. Chris Cuomo, who had thousands of documents, many different examples, hundreds of examples of him being the typical media individual, content creator as it were, defending his brother, defending Democrats, defending other individuals in similar situations as himself, yet he is right here on Twitter. Right here on Twitter. His brother's here on Twitter. And President Trump is archived. He's not on any of the social media sites whatsoever. But Chris Cuomo, who should have been fired and resigned in disgrace, is here flaunting, doing his thing, just like Molly Ball's article that taunts everyone. And, of course, now America is greatly suffering from the fact that Joe Biden is the president. And, of course, that I don't have to sensationalize. I don't have to exaggerate anything. All I have to do is just show you the headlines to show you what's going on with Joe Biden. And that's what I have for you guys on this Tuesday, or on this Wednesday. Let me figure out what day it is. Wednesday, December the 1st. Finally made it to December. I want to thank all you guys for your likes, your shares, and your comments. Of course, your participation here on the channel is always appreciated. I would encourage you guys to make use of the links below this video. Those are going to be my social media sites. You can follow me there as I do daily posts. And, of course, appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon for YouTube. You can follow me there by clicking on it and subscribing and clicking notifications if you want to know when there's content here on the channel. Thanks to all of you on New Tech for following me there as well. And I will see you guys in the Friday vlog.